Sam.
And this is what I thought was going to be kind of unique, but apparently I'm not the only one that is a simulation kind of game. This, as you can tell, is a pun of surgery but with virtual reality. So obviously it's going to be a simulation of a surgery game. Now, why a surgery simulator? Well, it's like, you know how surgeons are responsible of keeping you alive. They call you in and you're basically inches from death and they gotta save you. So you would hope that they do a good job. However, not as many surgeons will be experienced as others. As in a Washington Post said that a man came into a hospital, which he was treated at before with a different kind of treatment, but this time he had pancreatic cancer and he needed to be treated quickly. Problem was, the surgeon they had on hand has never really performed this type of surgery before, but gave it a shot anyways. The surgery had to be stopped due to complexities of the surgeon saying it was too difficult for her to handle. So they had him go to overseas to the hospital, which costed more than what it would if he would at the hospital he went to before. So obviously she needed more practice. Now another problem I see is most things it's like they practice on little like samples, or some practice on pigs because it's just kind of like, can you cut this and stitch this right? But even then, pigs are different from humans in different ways. Or even at morgues, they'll allow corpses, but it's kind of different from a live person to a dead person, because with a live person, even though they're knocked out, they're still going to be bleeding because of that. You can't really stop them unless you stop the heart. And corpses, it's kind of all still unless you manually have a pump to kind of simulate that. And in one of the journals that I was reading, which is just kind of virtual reality in general, the author quote Dr. Robert Mann that virtual reality is the ultimate surgical simulator, and I kind of believe that too.
Okay. Some surgeons in hospital can lack practice when it comes to actually performing these surgeries because our current way of practicing surgery is not very realistic and is just usually done on, like you said, dead pigs or on models. Like again, there was a 1979 Stanford study that just basically overall shows that there is a 25 to a 41% chance of a 25 to 41 more likely chance of survivability if your surgeon is experienced in the surgery versus a surgeon who is not as experienced in performing said surgery.
And the way it was studied was like a hospital where one surgeon performed it a few times while another one performed it 200 times.
So with this VR surgery, the surgeons will become more proficient and will gain more experience in performing said surgery. So that way, like even if they're not as experienced physically doing the surgery, they'll still be able to do it effectively as if they have done it 100 times before, like more experienced doctors.
Now, I can definitely say this is not the first idea that people have ever made. There's plenty of other surgery simulators. A really popular one, Surgeon Simulator. Though it's a fun game, but you really only limit it to one hand, and even then it's kind of unrealistic on how the surgery is. It's like break the guy's rib cage open with a glass next to it instead of the actual saw or hammer that he should be using. And in the end, you don't really stitch it up. You're just left with a guy with a hole in his stomach with a replaced liver or heart or brain, because there's a few versions of that. Now, reluctantly, I also had to include the online versions, it's the Rapunzel brain surgery on Liza for kids, or what I like are the frozen ones, and those problems. These, while really out there, are still technically surgery simulation games. It's just online and with Disney characters. So ours is going to be different, and there's advancements in technology, and in the future there's going to be even more advancements in technology, so people can make this even more better. With us, we can make better graphics. There's already so many video games out there that people think they're watching a movie because it looks so real and cinematic. We can have more responsive input and output. There's already mediums of virtual reality, such as the Oculus Rift or the PlayStation VR. And I think Microsoft is making one as well, so they're kind of jumping onto the virtual reality bandwagon. And if you're an avid video gamer, you probably know when you play video games, you have headphones on. And most likely not those headphones and a microphone. So we thought, why not have it where in an actual surgery, the surgeon has to keep his hands at whatever patient he's working on almost at all times. So he has a nurse by, just say, scalpel, give me the scalpel, give me the stitch, have her soak the head in sponge. So with the mic, instead of just having where you reach over, you can actually say to kind of mimic actual surgery play out.
But why stop there? With this new thing, there's so much that we can do. Like we can look at how systems would respond to certain things, or even if you want to get really specific, down to individual cells, that we can mimic their processes to help better understand and learn how to perform with the human body without seriously injuring or killing a person.
We got anatomy right here, which is kind of surgeons should almost basically have the entire human body memorized. Really, so if they say the femur is broken or whatever, and then it's you're instantly know, okay, I know what to do, I know what that is, I know how bad it is. And of course, you can get even more detailed with the cells, all the way down to the cell wall, the membrane, and the little things like the von plant cell. You can see the cytoplasm in there and whatnot. These are references. Thank you.
All right, questions?
What are your names?
Wyatt and
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, your full names?
Wyatt Smith.
Sam Rodriguez.
C.
Where is your proof that everybody wears headphones while playing games?
I'm sorry, it's just that whenever I go
Hey,
around,
this.
well, okay, I am an avid gamer. I play with headphones.
I do too.
I play with headphones on, whatever, and I always assume at this school, which is really tech-based, there'd be a lot of gamers around.
I
So
can vouch
I'm
for
just,
that. Everyone in my dorm wears headphones with the mic while playing.
I'm not speaking for the entire public in general. I'm just saying that a lot of times when you play on Oculus Rift, they even come with headphones. So you can play with it. So.
All right, questions?
Well, it's also extended to animals and stuff.
Oh yeah. This could easily go down. So it could be for veterinarians. They could get a simulation game for a vet to work on a dog.
All right, last
or
question,
more
sorry.
a wild kind of a person. I gotta go.
Is we're gonna get moving? Yeah.
I saw some of your support for your project was a study from Stanford from 1979.
Yeah, that was one that.
I was born around that era, and I mean, don't you feel like your argument would be a little bit stronger if you had more of a timelier piece of data?
Yeah, but it's just kind of proof that, because even though it's not saying the way I see it, it's not saying it's out of date. It's more just proving the fact that one hospital didn't work on this type of procedure while another one did it so many other times, and the other one had a much higher success rate than the other ones. So it is old, but it kind of proves the point that experience and practice will be better.
All right, thank you guys very much. Sorry,